Less than a month after turning our children's book into an app, we made our first $500, and this is just the beginning. Hi guys, welcome back to the Storybook Remix Podcast. My name is Bayo, a children's book author and software engineer. In a previous video linked above, I shared the story of Doreen Pina, one of my students with whom I've been working over the last few months. Doreen initially had a paperback on Amazon KDP and she wanted to take it to the next level. So we decided that the next level was to turn that book into an app, thereby breathing more life into the story and engaging our audiences. One of the things that Doreen did early on while developing the first version of her app was she built in this feature whereby she could get her customers' email address and their names. So she had an optional form in her app with which people could submit their names and email addresses, and that worked out fine. In case you're wondering how Doreen was able to do this, well, I had created a tutorial showing you how to use one of my tools, a simple plug and play tool in Unity. So all that Doreen did was follow that tutorial, and she had an optional form for collecting email addresses in her app. Now that turned out really well because in less than a month after releasing her app on iOS and Android, she had over 300 subscribers. Now that result was the motivation for going all the way. So initially she had developed one chapter of a 14 chapter book into an app. Now she wanted to do the full thing, and over the next 2 months we worked on that and we released that on November the 28th. Now in less than a month after releasing that, we hit our first $500. Now this is no gimmick, neither is this magic or a one night thing. No. The fact that Doreen already had an initial app out there, an app that was not just a product but also a means to collect data from her users, was the game changer. Now here's what I mean. When Doreen got 300 subscribers from the initial version of her app, what she could then do was reach out to these people. So she had a plan in place where over the period that we were developing the full version of the app, she was reaching out to her subscribers, letting them know what was going on, educating them also on the subject of her book app, which is the Creole language. So just to mention again, Doreen's paperback is an educational book for children to learn a language called Cape Verdean Creole. And so what she did over the course of 8 weeks was she was engaging the subscribers, teaching them certain things and letting them know that the full version of the app was a work in progress and was coming out soon. So that by the time that app was released on November the 28th, 2025, it was no surprise to them. They were already queuing up to buy the app. And that's how we got our first $500. Now, the point that I'm trying to make here is how effective that strategy has been because it's an app. Now, paperbacks definitely do have they're important. If anything, the paperback was the first introduction that people had to her product or to her works, and then the app was then the next level. Now, the way that you need to think about it is in the process of repurposing her book, a paperback, into an app, she didn't have to make a significant investment because she already had the book, and so she had the illustrations, she had the text. Now all she needed to do was repurpose those into the app, and now she has access to a new audience base, and now she has more another income stream. But here's where it also gets interesting. Now if you compare where she is now or where she was less than a month after releasing the full version of her app to how much sales she's been making on Amazon KDP, you can surely tell the difference. Now, I'll give an example using my experience. I mean, I have books on Amazon KDP and I average about $50 a month. Now, averaging about $50 a month, I mean, there are months where I don't even sell up to that. For every sale, I make about just about £3 or $4 thereabout, because again it's an Amazon KDP, it's print on demand. There's the cost of printing out the book, there's the cost of shipping, there's Amazon's commissions also. So at the end of the day, for a book that sells for £16.99 or $19.99, I'm only making £3, which is about $4. So if you look at that and compare to where Doreen is today, or where she was less than a month after releasing an app, and I can relate to that, it's that if you're making an average of $50 a month, which is believe me it's a huge one for most self-published authors on Amazon KDP. Most people are barely scratching the surface, so they're not even making up to that. It's not sustainable. So I'm averaging about $50 a month, and what that means is $500 is going to take about 10 months to a year for me to make. But then in less than a month after releasing her book into an app, she's made $500. Now, I should remind you why this is possible. This is all possible because our product, which is the app, is also the thing that is responsible for helping us get this data. Everything revolves around data. So Amazon never gives you access to your customer emails or names or anything of that sort. It's up to you to implement that. And we all know that, there's a limit to what you can do with a paperback, with a print copy. So maybe you can try something like a QR code somewhere that users can scan and it takes them to a website or a form where they can fill in their details. But, that's not really effective. But with an app, it's a no-brainer. So the next step for us is we're trying out different strategies with the data. We're engaging our users. We're trying out different campaigns, and I will be walking you through, those different things that we're trying as we journey towards our next $500 to make it $1,000, and then $2,000 and $10,000 and on and on. Now, I should also point out the disparity that exists in terms of income also. So with apps, right? So with apps, if you think about it, you're only paying a commission of at most 30%. So the first $500 in gross revenue for Doreen, she's still going to keep a significant chunk of that money because, again, it's just 30% commission going to the app stores. There's no printing or anything of that sort. The app is available for free, and then you can buy items within the app. And so we're getting more downloads. We're getting a lot more people download than are buying the app. But we get much more than that. When we go into the App Store, into the report section, we can see where our readers or our users are coming from. The people who are downloading the app, we can see where they are coming from. And so we can run targeted ads to reach these people in these countries. So we don't have to, blindly run ads, even though the app is available globally, we don't have to run ads targeting people in countries where we're not even getting any downloads. We can focus our resources on running Facebook ads, for example, or even running ads on the app stores, because the app store allows you to run ads also, targeting these people in these countries, targeting them, even just those using the iPhone, because we have more people using the iPhone, as you can see here, for the app. So this is useful data that would help us get our next $500. So that's all I wanted to share with you on this episode, my journey with Doreen. So rest assured, I will be walking you through the progress that we're making and, sharing with you the strategies that we're adopting. And I hope that you come along with us and also give this a shot. Now, remember, this whole thing started with repurposing her paperback into an app. And so you can do the same thing with your book. Follow my tutorial videos, reach out to me if you need any help, and I'll be happy to help you. Let me know how you're getting on. And yes, I'm also open to your feedback. Let me know in the comment section if there's anything else that you'd like to learn, or if there's anything that you're curious about turning your book into an app, and any suggestions also. Thank you very much. Bye.